This is about the Serco story, another Serco-run prison. A wing at the South Auckland prison is in lockdown after a clash between prisoners and guards at the weekend. Serco says 2 prisoners attacked guards at the Wiri site. Wiri is really South Auckland on Saturday night, and homebrew was later found in the wing. 42 prisoners have been in lockdown since Monday. Yesterday, 3 of them threatened to go on a hunger strike, but Serco has just told us they've changed their mind. The incident has been reported to the police. I think we do have the Corrections Minister, Judith Collins, on the line now. Are you there, Minister?
Oh, yes, I am, John.
Thank you. It's nice to have you on the program. Thank you for joining us. When did you find out about this?
I found out about this today.
Right. It happened on Saturday night. Should they have told you before today?
Well, Corrections were advised. I've spoken directly with both the Chief Executive of Corrections this afternoon. I've also spoken with the Regional Commissioner, and she has advised me that she knew about this on Saturday. She was satisfied with the way in which Serco had handled the matter, and that's why it was not escalated up to me.
Right. It's Thursday, though, isn't it? And you work on a no surprises regime. I mean,
I do, and I think that they'll certainly advise me of these sorts of matters straight away. And not all ministers like to know about them straight away. I certainly do. But what they've said to me is that, and I know this, so I don't expect them to tell me about every time there's every incident, because the sort of incident that we're talking about here is something that has happened from time to time in corrections facilities. That's what tends to happen if people, decide to do that. And the prisoners involved who were involved have been reclassified as maximum security, and they are now, no doubt about now, regretting what they did.
Okay. Do you know what they did do? What are the facts as you understand them?
Well, I've got varying information, although the Regional Commissioner advised me that a couple of the prisoners had been involved in making homebrew, that they'd got drunk, that they'd assaulted and pushed around a couple of staff members of corrections officers, and that they had basically taken some keys and a radio, so that was immediately dealt with as a code blue, as they call it, and the matter was sorted out very, very quickly. So it's totally unacceptable behaviour from the prisoners, but I understand that Corrections is very satisfied with the way Serco handled it.
Are they very satisfied with the fact it happened? For example, homebrew. Should there be homebrew? Should there be prisoners getting drunk? Should the situation arrive that the prisoners are in this kind of state at all?
Well, of course not, John, but the fact is that prisoners do this from time to time in corrections facilities when they have access to food and all those sorts of things, and they do it. You're talking about self-care units where there is a lot of trust that's provided, and these people are coming out one day out of prison. So the fact is that does happen. Is it acceptable? Certainly not.
It's another Serco prison? It's another Serco prisoner?
No, not at all, actually, John. This happens in corrections-run prisons from time to time.
Well, sorry, when you say not at all, it is a Serco-run prison, isn't it, this Wiri Institute?
No, but it's not at all that it's a Serco-run. I mean, for goodness sake, we had yesterday Corrections put out and started an inquiry into a prisoner in a corrections-run facility who had been tied on a bed for a month. And basically no one in the media seemed to be interested. And then we've got a situation where a couple of prisoners are drunk, they push around guards, they get themselves in a situation where they get punished for it, and it's bigger than that. I actually think that...
Well, wait a sec, hold on a sec. It is bigger than that, because in the prison where the prisoner was tied down, and I know nothing about this, so I apologise in advance.
We put out a press release.
Okay, well, I haven't seen it. So in that prison, was an entire wing locked down for 4 days afterwards?
Well, a lockdown, yes. Well, probably not in that case.
Okay, so you're not comparing apples with apples. Minister, in the context of the Mount Eden $8 million fine, apology, end of contract, isn't it a little bit embarrassing that this is happening in a Serco institution?
Not at all. This happens in corrections facilities. It is not acceptable when it does, but it's the fact that Serco has acted in a way which Corrections was very happy with. They've said to me that they would have acted in exactly the same way. They've got to have prisoners understanding that there are consequences not only for their actions but for the actions of those who are part of their team. And look, they've also said to me that the prisoners who were not involved but who are in that unit are still undertaking their work that they do in the prison, that they're still undertaking their education. But the fact is that the prison manager has to be in charge and has to make those decisions.
Okay. What sort of condition are the guards in who were assaulted or attacked or pushed around, as you said? Do you know anything about their condition?
Well, I've been advised that they are, in fact, well, so I haven't spoken to them myself yet, but I will be doing so. I will check myself because I like to know what's happening with those officers.
Thanks, Minister. Can we just broaden out slightly? When are we getting the latest prison performance tables that rank the performance of different prisons? Because they're late, aren't they?
Well, I haven't seen them. As soon as I get them, you'll get them, John.
Okay.
And it's something I will, in fact, ask the Corrections Chief Executive because obviously I would rather know about this sort of incident, even if Corrections has decided that it's been handled properly and that they don't need to inform. But I like to know what's happening on these.